Welcome back to another watch along. Let's pick up the thrilling Celtics-Timberwolves game last night where Boston's trying to remain undefeated. And Kyle Anderson on the inbound with a great loping step somehow finishes that over Cornet, and now the Wolves are up 6. Other end, Boston goes to that Spain pick and roll. Tatum a step back 3, and he cuts it to 3. So that's 3 points in the quarter for Tatum. Remember, he started at 19. He's up to 22. Keep that in the back of your head as we continue to watch. Okay, so look at the matchups. Brown is on Anthony Edwards, and he's top-locking him, meaning he's trying to deny the catch. The Celtics then switch away from the ball, so White denies Edwards. So this whole possession is just to deny him the ball. Kyle Anderson scores anyway, and the lead goes back to 5. Other end, Celtics run pick and roll. They switch it with Cat. Rudy Gobert is out this game, so Tatum settles for another step back. This one's no good, but Cornet with the tip into the backcourt for a fresh 14. Jaylen Brown had a huge game as well. He attacks, spins, and cans a jumper, and we are right back down to 3. Okay, so let's watch how they defend Edwards again. He's down in the corner. Brown's shading on top of him a little bit. No denial this time. He catches, puts it up, and Minnesota takes a 6-point lead. Anthony Edwards, big shots, the ability to rise over anyone. He can do this season, and it's been a huge part of his game. Speaking of a huge part of the game, Tatum, watch it again, the strides, the use of that extra step after he picks it up to slither into the space, work for the three-point play. So Tatum's free throw cuts it to 3. White is on Nickeil Alexander-Walker. He's looking to run pick and roll. They still have Edwards on the wing. He gets into the paint. Nice extra pass by Naz Reid. Celtics defense recovers. Drew Holiday here shading over to take away the drive. So Edwards goes to that jab step. Just rims out on the 3. And now it's Tatum's turn at the other end. Spin. Tatum doesn't always have that body control. Can't quite finish that one. Nice extra pass by Karl Anthony Towns there. Minnesota just playing with a lot of moxie on the road in this one to fight off Boston's comeback here. So let's pick it up. Just about 5 minutes to go here. 14 on the clock for Minnesota. They go to Edwards, isolation. Drew shades over to him, then comes back. Nice drive by slow-mo Kyle Anderson. That is the vintage deceleration. We don't hear that talked about enough on broadcasts, in my opinion. The tempo, the change of speed, slowed it down. Nice finish, and the lead is 7. Boston tries to run a Spain pick and roll here with Jaylen Brown coming up in the middle of the paint. Minnesota handles it very well. Very physical defense from Alexander Walker. Gets around the screen beautifully, just stonewalls the entire possession. Tough shot for Brown is an air ball. Anthony Edwards pick and roll. They just switch everything right now, so Drew Holiday takes him. Tatum creeps up. There's a late double. And that leads to a jump ball. Tatum's length, he's so long. You'll see he might get the wrist here on the replay. It's kind of on the hand. Hand is part of the ball, but if you slide down and you're too low, it's supposed to be a foul. And Anthony Edwards here, just perfect jump. Alexander Walker takes the contact, spins to the other side, and finishes. And now the Wolves are up 9 with 4 minutes to go, and the Celtics 17-0 perfect record at home looks like it is in some serious trouble. White zips back up to get it. They're looking for Tatum on this curl. He comes off, up fake. Great burst on that up fake. And that keeps the Celtics within striking distance. Tatum up to 27, so that's 8 in the quarter. White stays with Alexander Walker. And just a spectacular finish by Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who's played a great basketball game on both ends, taking tough shots down the stretch here. And then the defense right there again, stopping Drew Holiday. They swing to Horford. Huge three from Horford. If we go back, it's the Tatum cut that kind of turns into a screen that occupies two defenders, prevents Naz Reid from getting out. That leaves Horford open, and that's what opened that shot up for Boston. After a timeout, they look to post up Edwards, maybe pass out of that. Everyone clears through, and now he can go to work in isolation. Just fumbles it off his foot. A little pressure from Jaylen Brown, and now Brown comes back in transition, gets free throws, and all of a sudden, the Celtics can cut it to 4. They keep Edwards off ball. Alexander Walker wants to set the screen game. Pull up 3. My goodness. Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I would like to buy 10 shares of Nickeil Alexander-Walker stock immediately after this game. Brown at the other end. Quick, kind of ill-advised 3 for my money. Edwards is on ball. They switch the pick and roll. Horford has him. Tatum, note that late double from Tatum. So they're constantly trying to throw extra defensive attention at Edwards down the stretch. Probably had Karl Anthony Towns on that one. That might have been a better look. And that's something he's improved this year. But the Celtics challenged him down the stretch in this situation. Now this is a crazy play because Drew Holiday blocks it. Ant wants a foul. I think the Celtics want the ball. And so Boston ends up challenging this. They review it, and they say that the ball went off Edwards' hand last. So it's a huge call. 2 minutes to go, within 7, still striking distance. Tatum pick and roll, rejects the screen, and this was another wild play coming out of the timeout. If you run it back, Derek White is in the paint. He's going to U-turn and look for that same Spain pick and roll action as Drew Holiday comes up, kind of pulling everyone out high on the court. White ends up being like a screener in a wrestling match, holds off Alexander Walker. That's what springs Tatum back to 5. And then a call near and dear to my heart, White hounding the ball in the backcourt. Alexander Walker with that forearm push off right in the middle of his ribs. Goes to the Celtics. So two quick calls that get Boston the ball back. And now Tatum is going to attack Towns on the switch. Minnesota doesn't double here. He goes to the step back 3. That's just a crazy shot. You just can't really defend that unless you throw a double at him and force the ball out of his hands. He's up to 13 in the quarter. And now Edwards is going to start on ball for Minnesota. The same switch. They bring Horford into the pick and roll. They're doing this over and over again. Switch and then the double with White. And the spacing here, the Celtics have this weak side covered perfectly. Cat flashes to the middle, but the pass doesn't come. And then they're able to recover as Drew Holiday defends the ball, stop and go in the other way for a run out. And all of a sudden, Boston can tie the game. As we come up on a minute, they go to Tatum. Isolation, no double. Step back. That one's too strong. So Brown is on Edwards. Again, they just switch everything. So White takes him on the handoff. Double comes from Horford. The pass is one way. So Drew Holiday's right there. And again, this is the same problem that the Wolves have had down the stretch in this quarter. The double comes from this closest player on the wing, and Edwards throws it right there. But the rotation, the Celtics defense is already tilted to rotate that way. So the open guy is on the other side of the court. No one on Minnesota makes the pass, and you end up with a very difficult contested shot from Jaden McDaniels at the end of the clock. Really a story of two different defensive coverages in the fourth. The way Boston is giving all that attention to Edwards and Minnesota can't capitalize. And on the flip side, Tatum is getting more space. His teammates are actually opening stuff up for him. So they're looking for Tatum on the baseline. They get him there. He spins on Towns. Tatum misses the possible layup pass to Horford under the basket, turns back, and then I think cheats a little bit with that pivot foot on the up fake. I They almost never call that now, though. So Tatum, very good free throw shooter. The second is up and too strong, and Derek White comes flying in for the rebound. And this is a fascinating rebound because his man, Alexander Walker, goes to box out Tatum instead of White, who crashes from the wing. At the exact same time, Drew Holiday gets around Kyle Anderson, occupies him, so that's how White is able to get that rebound. And now Tatum with a second chance to redeem himself. This time, Minnesota does bring a double. Tatum's ball fake freezes Cat, extra pass, and bang, all of a sudden the Celtics have a 2-point lead with 25 seconds left after just being on the brink for most of the latter part of this quarter. So it's the Wolves' turn to dial something up. 25 seconds left. Brown is still on Edwards. And Brown's pressure puts Edwards all the way into the backcourt. He's got 2 screens to use here. There's the jump switch back to Brown. 10 to shoot. And that is just Anthony Edwards' first step burst, creating offense in these big clutch moments against the best teams. In isolation, it's very hard to take away that athletic advantage. And free throws. The Celtics challenge this, but the challenge is unsuccessful. 9 seconds left. The second one is up and good, and we are tied. Boston going no timeout. Tatum brings it up. He's guarded by McDaniels. Let's see if they double. Alexander Walker does double. Pretty clean look from Tatum, and it just rims out at the buzzer, and we go to overtime. Let's do 5 minutes more. So, same setup in overtime. Edwards gets off the ball. Cat with Tatum on him. Drives. Finishes nicely and a foul. Karl-Anthony Towns so good, especially getting to his right. This next possession, I thought Tatum showed a lot of patience. Maybe had a shot. Passes it off to Horford instead. And you end up with this hook shot in the paint from Al, well defended by Towns. And now Minnesota up 3 with the ball. Edwards looking for that same right-hand push. Throws it away. And the difference on this one is Horford lurking as a shot blocker. And again, Edwards needs to change sides here to find the open man. And by staying on the near side with the pass, Tatum is right there, and we get a turnover. And they call it a take foul on McDaniels, so he fouls out. Celtics get a free throw and the ball that cuts it to 2. High pick and roll for Tatum, and a defensive miscommunication gets him to the basket again, undeterred. And it's that same Spain pick and roll action with Jaylen Brown coming up into the middle of the floor, popping out to the other side. That pulls Kyle Anderson away from him. Ant wants to stay with Tatum on the screen, but he gets picked off, and that's too easy for Jayson, and we are tied again at 114, and Tatum is up to 36, 17 since we picked it up. Meanwhile, Cat with a huge 3, and you can see how basic and powerful this pass is. Jaylen Brown shades 3 steps over to take away the driving gap. He's sitting right on him. Edwards makes the pass, and that's enough space for Towns to drop one in. 117, 114. What a game. Same pick and roll, Tatum and Horford. Tatum with a great hesitation move on Naz Reid, who blocks it from behind. Stays alive for Brown, and he's fouled this time on the drive. More free throws. Brown made both. That puts him up to 33. Finishes with 35 in this game. Tatum this time switches on to Anthony Edwards. He can use that length. No help comes, but Drew Holiday's in perfect position. Ant dancing everywhere, just misses another 3. That's 2 he's had rim out. Now the Celtics can take the lead. Brown drives. He's hacked. More free throws. And he makes a pair to put Boston up. Now Minnesota goes back to hunting Al Horford, looking to bring him into the pick and roll. Edwards gets the switch that he wants. Boston's defense then tilts way up. Watch Derek White. He sneaks up here, Edwards sees that this time, makes the basic pass one away. Nice up fake by Alexander Walker, and he hits another huge shot. Just a great fourth quarter for Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and the Wolves are back ahead, 120-118. Same Tatum pick and roll with Horford, plays pick and pop, they move it around. Good ball movement here, Holiday wide open in the corner, but he can't hit it. Big offensive rebound. Now the Celtics start driving and kicking, somebody's open. It's Holiday again, and he misses twice. What a sequence. The ball goes back to the Timberwolves. And this time they get it out of Edwards' hands. Catches plays isolation with Jayson Tatum. That's an incredible pass idea. Oh my goodness. So he feels the double coming from Jrue Holiday, wrap around underneath, but the pass is off the mark, so he has to kick it out to Reed, who just misses a huge three. And now the Celtics come racing back down the floor in transition. And Tatum gets Reed in space and wants to go to work. And it's a cheap foul by Naz Reid, 40 feet away from the basket. And that's just free points back on the board. So Tatum is up to 38. And we are tied at 120 with 90 seconds to play. Here we go again. It's Edwards in the corner. Watch Jaylen Brown. That same coverage. Top blocking to take away that cut. Cat rips the three. It's just off. Maybe too quick with that shot. Boston goes right back to pick and roll. Towns with the switch. Tatum dancing again. Unbelievable crossover by Tatum. My goodness. Through a good amount of contact. Changed direction. Spun it off the glass. Celtics back in front, and then Jrue Holiday with the steal. Tatum for three. Unbelievable. In a matter of seconds, 7 straight points by Jayson Tatum. And if we go back to the defensive play, this is a theme down the stretch in this game for me. Holiday immediately traps 2 on the ball, anticipates the jump pass out. Just a brilliant vintage Jrue Holiday play. And then in transition, that sets up Tatum wide open. And just an avalanche, just an incredible performance from Jayson Tatum in this game. And that drive and score and then turnover in 3 sequence basically caps this game for the Celtics. Tatum finishes with 45 points, 26 of them coming in the final 12 minutes or so in overtime and down the stretch of the fourth quarter. And Boston survives a scare from one of the best teams in the league in Minnesota to remain undefeated, 18-0 at home this season for the Celtics. It's their best home start in franchise history, and they have a season in 1986 where they went 50-1 at home en route to the title. So we'll see how much longer they can keep this up. Great game. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for joining me. And as always, hope you're having a great day.